Yo guys, it's your boy Antos and welcome back to AnimeWaffle. Your boy is back for another week of weekly waffle and I hope you guys are doing well. You've had a good week, everyone's okay. Me, I'm blessed, I'm good, I'm here to make some content, talk about anime. So yeah man. It's been another week man, another week. What I've been up to this week man. I've done not a lot to be fair. Watched anime, been a lot of TikToks to be fair. But yeah, I've been alright, guys. But you know what, yeah? Let me get straight into the video. As I mentioned last week, right, I want to turn Weekly Waffle into a thing where I have like a main topic that I talk about. So last week, for example, was like my anime burnout. I explained, how I was going through that and how I managed to combat it. This week, I think today's topic is there's just not a lot of interesting animes out there for me right now. You know, Listen, I create anime content, right? Well, I'm in the infancy, the beginning stages of doing all of this stuff, right? And obviously the main thing to do, right, is to watch anime. And I'm very grateful to do that, right? But boy, oh boy, I just think sometimes, right, it's hard. It's really hard. Like, for example, currently I'm watching, the main animes that I've been watching for the last few weeks, Ace of Diamonds, I became friends with the second cutest girl in my class. Gals can be friends with Otaku, something like that. Drops of God. That's like four animes. Oh yeah, Witch Hat, yeah, five animes, right? But today, I was looking for some new animes to start watching, right? And I'm struggling. Honestly, I'm struggling. Like, I tried to start with Storia. I thought it was boring, bro. Maybe I just wasn't in the right frame of mind, but I just wasn't feeling it, man. I tried to start this anime about this social media anime where I forgot the name, but like the guy's sister ended up dying, and then it turns out that she was already dead, and that she ended up turning into a ghost. I forgot the name of the anime. I'm gonna actually look it up real quick. Dead Account. Yeah, I tried to watch Dead Account. Oh my gosh, that is just it's dead. No offense, but it's dead. But like I was saying, I've tried to start some new animes, but I'm just not feeling it. I don't know what it is right now, but when it comes to anime, I just haven't found anything interesting. You know, I really don't want to watch a long running series. The older ones. I just don't. 'Cause I know I won't finish it, right? So I'm just looking for like a good, short-ish anime to watch. But I just can't find anything right now. So you guys can let me know some good animes to watch. I've been watching quite a few romance animes as well. I even started another anime. It's called the Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten. That's a good anime right there. That's a good romance. But for the most part, I think we've just gotten to a point where there's so much anime. I don't like using the word slop. 'Cause I think that's a bit mean, but there's a lot of slop out there, man. Just stuff that just there in it, like there with no purpose. And I thought to myself, with there being so much anime, with there being so much slop, right? So I was thinking about romance animes, right? And I've come to the realization, half of these romance animes are just dead, bro. Let's keep it a buck, man. Like the main character, they're so uninteresting. They're just so bland and just dead. And this is what I mean when I say slop. It's just there in it. It's like a lot of these romance animes, these main characters are they're just there. No personality, no backbone. Just just there. And I'm thinking, man, like maybe it's because of the anime that I'm watching, but it's been a real minute since that I've watched a show and like remembered all the characters' names. Besides from like Witch Hat Atelier, which is actually good. Shot a good anime. I know the characters' names. Like besides that though, couldn't tell you a lot of these anime characters' names. Like for example, Drops of God. I forgot the characters' names. I've watched 10 episodes of it. Um, the anime, romance anime that I've been watching about the Angel Next Door, supposed to be rotten. I don't know the characters' names. Not to say like they're bad, but it's just forgetful. And it's like the more that I watch anime, right? At what point am I just gonna plateau and just watch so much anime to the point where it's like I don't even know the characters' names no more? And I think unfortunately, I've gotten to that point where I've now at the point where I've just watched too much anime. Right, whenever I start a new anime, I just forget the characters' names for the most part. Like the anime has to be really good for me to remember. Back in the day, I could just watch any anime and I could give you a good detail, a good accounting of what the anime was and the main characters, right? But now it's like shit, man. Sorry, but it's just not moving me no more. Yeah, a little, I guess, run over. Obviously there's gonna be good animes from time to time, but why does it feel like every five animes that I watch, there's only like one good one, or like one or two good ones, But I guess that's just how it is. In other news, the Blue Lock season three key visual has been revealed, and it's a nice visual of Isagi, the main character, and the upcoming NEL arcs antagonist, Michael Kaiser. Now, if you haven't seen Blue Lock, for me, Michael Kaiser is the best antagonist in the whole show. I didn't even go to argue for the best character in the whole show. To be Michael Kaiser is the GOAT, and I'm very excited for Blue Lock season three. But there's a but here. The animation, man. Now listen, I ain't one of those animation nerds, right? That like will get onto an anime that has bad animation. But Blue Lock really has no excuse to have bad animation. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Like this, I could get into it and start singing how Blue Lock is like. I think in 2025 was it or 2024 like the highest selling manga. I think it was 2024. Don't quote me. It could have been 2025, but you know the way how Blue Lock looked last season, season two, was unacceptable, bro. I don't like saying that, but it looked terrible. Like people were coming out saying that it was made off CapCut, and you could see the transitions and stuff like that. They were calling it PNG Lock. It was a dark place to be a Blue Lock anime fan. But even with Blue Lock, I can't lie, the manga will always be superior unless we get something like the final episode of Blue Lock season two on a regular basis, which I very much doubt. I don't know, but as much as I'm hyped for Blue Lock season three. I'm gonna be skeptical because of the animation, right? Season two was a massive letdown. Because you guys don't understand, right? The hype going into Blue Lock season two, the under 20 arc, right, was so hype. And for it to come out how it looked like was really disappointing, man. I'm just hoping, with the Neo Egoist League, that they can really, give us a good animated season. So many animes, unfortunately, just have terrible adaptations, right? I was seeing a thing. I don't know if this is a real quote, but it was from the Tokyo Ghoul creator, right? And he was saying how bad anime adaptations will always lead to more people wanting to get interested into the manga. And I hear it, even me, yeah, down there, I'm collecting Tokyo Ghoul manga, by the way, because the anime was so bad. I've seen all of it, right? It gets bad after season one. But I just feel bad for these mangakas, bro. Like seeing their like creations just turn into utter slop. It's sad. I don't want Blue Lock to be part of that list, alongside Tokyo Ghoul and all these other bad adaptations. I really hope, that Blue Lock can really have a good season. So I'm hoping, we got the World Cup coming up this year, they want to capitalize on the hype. So please, just the directors and producers, give them time, man. Let's not have another rushed season, man, because a lot of these animes that we're getting, especially the big name ones, a lot of it's being rushed. And, obviously the demand for anime is at an all-time high. And we all know the memes behind, Mappa and them basically, torturing their flipping workers to produce like their work is peaking it. But, I really hope for season three that, we get a very good animated season. What else have I seen? Oh yeah. So basically on TikTok, right? I saw this meme about Sasuke and Itachi and how Itachi put Sasuke through the genjutsu of him killing Sasuke's parents, I mean their parents, 500,000 times. Something like that, right? Obviously, that number is not facts. Because when I was watching Naruto back in the day, right? I went onto the Reddit to see, how many times did Itachi really put Sasuke through that genjutsu of, him killing their parents. And some guy estimated that it could have been up to 500,000 plus times, right? But I don't think it's actually confirmed. But this leads me on to the point, right, that I've just been wanting to say for years. Itachi Uchiha is not a good brother. Yeah. I don't care how many glazes, how many stands he has. This brother is not a good brother. He's also not a good human being. He's evil. Yeah. I'm sorry, but I feel like the masses are finally waking up to the fact that this guy is not a good person. Because you see, back in the day, yeah, back in the day, back in the day when I was watching Naruto, right? Itachi was the most glazed character, bro. You go through YouTube comments, bro. It was ridiculous, bro. Everything was be glazing Itachi. To this day, guys are still glazing Itachi, right? And I feel like we're now people are beginning to wake up that this guy is not a good brother or a good person, right? Itachi off his whole clan with the help of Obito, right? His entire clan now, committed genocide on his clan to save the Hidden Leaf. Not cool. And he killed Sasuke's parents right in front of him. Right. And you know what he did after that? He put Sasuke into a genjutsu where Sasuke had to relive that same moments of him, of Itachi killing his parents right in front of him over and over and over and over and over and over again. His fans will say, oh, he needed Sasuke to get strong, build that hatred. Come on, bro, what? Like, how can one do that and then still claim that they're a good brother? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, man. It's honestly ridiculous. People will say he did it so that he could get his Mangekyo Sharingan or have enough hate for it. No, because at the end of the day, Sasuke didn't even unlock his Mangekyo Sharingan until he literally killed Itachi. Same Itachi said that you have to kill your best friend to get it. So, yeah, I feel like the world is healing. Itachi Glaze is beginning to stop. I've got more thoughts on Itachi. I always be one to notice. The way how he apparently went from being this wicked, evil guy to being the savior of the leaf. You see Kishimoto. Yeah, you cannot gaslight me. You cannot trick me. You cannot use your propaganda to make me think that Itachi is a good guy. You cannot do that because he's not a good guy. Yeah, you can retcon all you want to, bro, but Itachi is not a good character. And I honestly wish that he just stayed as an antagonist throughout the whole show. I honestly wish that, but that's a bit of my small rant about Itachi over. Let's get into some actual anime talk now. So this week, your boy watched Ace of Diamond, my favorite anime of all time. And I like to be short and sweet with Ace of Diamond because it's baseball. As much as I like playing baseball, and as much as I like the sport of baseball, it can be a bit boring to talk about. Like, the intensity isn't there of what a volleyball or a football or a basketball game could have. I'm just saying because the three biggest sports mangas are legit: Haikyuu, Blue Lock, and Kuroko no Basket, right? But this Seidu versus Inashiro match, boy, on my life, this is a top 3 sports match of all time in any anime, manga, whatever. I don't care. This game is incredible, right? So currently it's 1-1, and we've gone beyond the halfway point between Seidu and Ichidai, sorry. And it's basically been a battle between Sawamura and Kosei, the two main pitchers of either team. These guys are not letting up. They are not conceding any runs, and it's just incredible, man. As someone that has watched Ace of Diamond, I watched it, years back. It's become my favorite anime. Seeing Sawamura perform at this elite level that he currently is, it's just, you don't know how satisfying it truly is, man. Bro, there were days, this guy had the yips. Now, if you don't know what yips is, it's like, basically, in sports terms, you've lost your skill, basically. You can't basically, like, play your sport, basically. He lost the skill to play baseball, pretty much. Like, he was horrible, right? He literally lost the skill to play baseball, and he's gone through so much, right? Not playing at Caution, not playing at the Nationals, you know, seeing the retirement of the third years to now being the ace of Sado. And, I feel like this is so satisfying, man. The boy's been through so much, so many trials and tribulations to get here, right? And now we're here in these semi-finals, right? Playing against Ichidai, playing against his rival, and he is putting Seidu on his back. Boy, when I tell you Sawamura is putting Seidu on his back, it is ridiculous because guess what? Our hitters haven't really performed. Only until, the end of this recent episode, when guys have been getting hits. Komachi is now on base now, which is good. Haruichi is currently at bat. Our captain Miyaki has gone over 3 against Kosai. He's not had a single hit. So Sawamura has really had to put in because Ichidai, they are a good team. They are a really good team. I really hope that Seidu can lock in and win. I think they will. I really hope so. But this match, man, has been incredible. It's really a battle of who's gonna lose first, right? Because the game between Sawamura and Kosei, that's the two main pitchers. Who is gonna give up first, And these guys are just not letting go, When I think that Sawamura's out, he comes back in. When I think Kosei's out, he's back in there again. It's incredible. Honestly, it's incredible. And this is the semi-finals, by the way. This is the semi-finals, right? What the hell is the finals gonna be, right? Because I think currently we're at 4 episodes of this current game. I think it's 3 or 4. They're really giving us a treat of this final season of Ace of Diamond, and I couldn't be more happy. Witch Hat at You, one of the good animes I've been watching recently that came out. We got some more information, a more focused episode in regards to Riche. I think I pronounced that correctly. Riche. Out of all the students so far, Riche has gotten at the least amount of screen time. I got to learn a bit about her. She's really focused on using her magic and her magic alone. Sorry, and that is really cool to see. She is out of all the apprentices the one we don't know that much about, to be fair. So that is really exciting. Hopefully get more development from her as well. But yeah, the students are currently taking their exams. I think all of them are gonna pass. Agot has been really wanting to take this exam and pass it, and I think she will. But yeah, not much. Now they're going into a set of trials. Similar to Freeron, I guess. The whole trial system of becoming a better witch in that way, something like that. But overall, I thought it was a decent episode, to be fair. I watched Drops of God. That was alright. Oh my gosh, I just finished watching. Here we go. I became friends with the second cutest girl in my class, and that was a good episode. I think there's one episode left. I think it's one left, but that was a good episode though. Maki has been going throughout the whole season. He's been dealing with his parents' divorce. He hasn't really found a way to figure out how to manage through it. And in the previous episode, he's been trying to talk to people, understand why it happened. Why his dad left his mom. Obviously, his dad went on to find somebody else. But his dad at the same time wasn't really being as active as he should have been. And it was really good to see Maki find some sort of peace within all of that, and it was a bit emotional, I can't lie. I mean, me personally, I can very much relate to what Maki is going through. So it was really good to see. And obviously at the end, with his friends, helping out at the school party, Christmas party. And then obviously at the end, right, with Maki finally confessing to Umi that he loves her. And, at that moment, it was really good to see, man. And I'm just, man. I think there's one episode left as well, but this has been a good anime, I'm not gonna say the name again because it's just too long, but really good. I think I'm very tempted to just read the manga when I'm done with the anime. But again, like I said before, good anime equals I know their names. Maki, Ume. That's what I'm saying, bro. I don't want to get back onto it, but a lot of the animes, yeah, if it's dead, yeah, I ain't gonna know the characters' names. But I became friends with the second kid got in my class. Has rated them so far. But yeah, I think I've rambled on long enough. I've spoken quite a bit to be fair. It's like we're beginning to now enter the end of this spring anime season. I mean, technically we are in summer right now. It started. We're in June. But yeah, man, another week, man. I feel like I just really want to find like some more good animes to watch. 'Cause I just feel like I've just been watching a lot of slot recently, honestly. To be honest with you guys. But once again, thank you guys for watching the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know some animes that I can, check out, watch. Please be good though, because the boy is suffering out here. But guys, check out my TikTok and my Instagram. Check out my other videos, check out my shorts as well. It's been your boy Antos. This is AnimeWaffle. Peace.